Hello everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to dive into Bitcoin, big old CoinsKid crew. So in my opinion, Bitcoin has actually formed this massive wedge. You've got these 3 points of contact. Like I said to you, always look for 3 points of contact in these patterns. We've got that first point of support, the second point of support, the third point of support. We've got the first point of resistance, which is what created the wedge. We've got the second point of resistance, and you do usually break a falling wedge on the third point of contact, and boom, we've broken out. So we've run up into resistance. We'll fail back to the neckline as support. Like I said to you, once you break this resistance, falling back to it is your entry point right there with a top stop loss, obviously. And right now we're looking to come up. Now, in my opinion, if we start to see another thing today, literally today, we're printing a signal today. We're not printed it just yet, but if we do print it today, then for me, I think you're looking at a massive ramp up for Bitcoin. Okay, we're putting in a confirmation statement because we've only ever printed this signals. I think 4 times before in the entire history of Bitcoin, we've only ever printed this signal, and each time has led to a massive run in Bitcoin, okay, and crypto. So again, you're not just going to do this. Don't be disillusioned. The market moves in waves, okay, on the way up and on the way down. You have these big crashes, corrections and things like that. What goes up must come down. Remember that. So I'm always trying to find a resistance for you, the pullbacks, the potential targets on pullbacks as well. We have been nailing it. We've got this come up, come down, come up, come down. We've been nailing all these moves. I think you're in a final fifth wave here, but there might be some kind of crash that's coming next week, and I'm going to go through this with you. If history repeats, take a look at the weekly time frame just there for Bitcoin. Something got me a little bit cautious for next week is this big candle here, because I remember this candle really, really well. It's literally the week before the end of the month, just there in February 2021. We got a massive drawdown. I remember that point as well. Everyone thought the bull run was over, but this is at the point where I was buying the dip, okay, especially on XRP, because I had a 197 target for XRP, and it absolutely came down and went. That was a really good time. That was pretty much when I started making the videos on the YouTube channel. So I'm not saying history is going to repeat, but just be a little bit cautious, because you can see here we come up, we come down, potentially come up into resistance, coming back down to a high level support before coming back up and breaking it. So we might experience some kind of pullback next week for the crypto markets, which in my opinion would be really healthy, to get that pullback, grab liquidity and go again. So just be a little bit cautious, because 2 years ago next week we actually seen a crash in Bitcoin. Now that crash for Bitcoin was huge. I remember it is 21% drawdown, okay, and a lot of the altcoins were like 30-40% because obviously they correct more. But if we do get a big pullback, I would be looking for the EMAs on the weekly to hold a support before going again, and I think that'd just be an amazing little entry spot for those that have missed this pullback to this support just there. But anyway, what's the signal on the 5-day time frame that I'm looking at that Bitcoin is potentially created? It's not done it yet. Let's not get too excited. We need the close to be today, but above a key level resistance. I'm going to show you to print a massive statement from Bitcoin right now, okay? So if you remember just there on the 5-day time frame, I was targeting the 55 EMA. I said to you that close just there is a very bullish signal. It doesn't mean you're going to take off into space. You potentially pull back for support, just like this signal that will potentially print tonight with a pullback support next week, okay? And again, I'm not got a crystal ball, but it's just something I'm looking at. So if we start to pull back, I would expect a key level support to come in. I'm going to show you all that support in a moment, and then go again. And it could be an optimal entry point on altcoins, Bitcoin especially, to ride this wave up, okay, and get this impulsive move off this bottom just there. So we are putting in legwork. Like I said to you, we can't ignore the data. Just there, we've got a beautiful close above a 55 EMA. We come back to support and we've broken it, okay? So we pretty much, I would guarantee today, you're looking at a 5-day close in 13 hours. We're going to get another close above 55. So we're building a very strong case here that we are bullish off these lows, and this is what we want to see. We want breaking resistance. We're already breaking this resistance, fantastic. But the primary resistance I want to see broken, there's 2 on the weekly. We've got a 55 EMA, which is key resistance at the moment, and equally on the monthly, I would love to see us close above the 55 EMA and the 10 EMA. Okay, so we've got 9 days, for the monthly close. So I would expect some kind of pullback, okay? Not because I'm a bear or anything like that, but because the markets have been doing so well, and a lot of these coins have been breaking off and taking off into space, that people are buying those tops, and things that go up must come down. So I think we might see some kind of retracement over the next sort of few days leading into next week for Bitcoin. It'd be an optimal entry point for then come back up and then get the closes above these resistance. So this is something we're looking at in 9 days. We've got a long time. A lot can happen in 9 days. Pull back, get your ass back up and close above that on the monthly would be absolutely amazing. And that's another confirmation statement of the bottom right there. So the 5-day time frame, what is the signal that I'm looking at that's ultra bullish, and it's never failed us before? I'm going to show you, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the 5-day time frame, this signal that we are literally on the cusp of printing right now, and again, it's data, not emotion, it's just data in the charts that I'm relaying to you. We've obviously got to see the close above that resistance tonight. I'm going to give you that resistance. But if we see it, historically, we've only ever seen it 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the history of Bitcoin, and each time has led to an impulsive move to the upside, okay? Not a continued, downtrend, which is what we're currently in and we're trying to break out of. Do you understand? So again, it's just data, not emotion, and this is something I relay to you. So if we take a look on the 5-day time frame just there, way back in 2011, we start to ramp up. When we got the close just here, we got the resistance on the median line of the Gaussian again, and this is a scenario that could play out. We could get resistance and fail to close above, and then we roll again. So we want to see the close above, and this is something I've been telling you for a very long time. Getting back into the Gaussian, closing above a medium line has never not been bullish for Bitcoin, and it's literally tonight that it needs to do it to put in a confirmation statement that it's bottom, basically, on the 5-day time frame. So again, data not emotion, okay? So just here we got the close, and from there we absolutely ramped up. Where did we ramp up to? We continued to go in this 2-part cycle bull run just there. So 2000, say 22,000%. That was huge. I don't think we'll get another ramp up like that, to be honest with you, but that was a massive signal. Close above that, see you later, boom, right there. And then way back we had that massive depreciation, come back down, double bottom again. We got the resistance on the Gaussian median line, and this is something we could experience if we do get that tonight and we start to roll. We could come back for another low, and this is a thing, data not emotion. We need to see the close before I can call this, basically. So right here we got the close just there above, and then we ramped all the way from there all the way up. Let's drop that up. So we went all the way up there in that bull run 2017, 7,000%. It's massive, okay? Huge signal. So in 2018 we had that big sort of bear market, bottomed out in 2018. Then we started to ramp up. As soon as we got the close above the 5-day Gaussian median line just there, we ramped up roughly around about 157% in that, dead cat bounce, basically, wasn't it, to that high where we come up, dead cat bounce, retracement, and then rolled again into the following year. And this is a possibility as well. Everyone's saying we might break an all-time high this year. Fantastic if we do, but if not, if we just sort of mirroring this big depreciation, dead cat bounce, come back down, everyone gets really fearful, some kind of ABC, and then we ramp up, then we're just mirroring this cycle here, aren't we? We come down and then we're coming back up, make a lower high, and then we go again. So anything's possible. But what I'm trying to relay to you is the fact that once we close above the 5-day medium Gaussian, okay, after losing it and going red, we're in for a good time, basically. We've never not been. So again, we did it just there way back in 2020 when that big dump V-shaped recovery came back up like this sort of V-shaped recovery that we're going through, because I think that that's personally a black swan, right? But anyway, that's a different story. But just there we got the close and we never looked back, and eventually we topped out in that double top around about 702%. So I'm not saying we're going to get the same kind of appreciation and things like that, but they're just data in the charts that you can't ignore. We've not done it yet, so I can't say it's done it yet, but we can't get too excited. But if, let's say for example, we are just looking at this big retracement coming back up and things like that, and closing above this is indication of it. You're really bullish, you're looking pretty tasty, you're printing bullish signals that can't be ignored. There's multiple bullish signals down there, okay? We'll try and make a compiled video of all the bullish signals that exist at the minute for Bitcoin. But if we do get the close above that line, we're looking potentially at some kind of retracement just there for Bitcoin of around just to retrace to the high is around about 179%, which doesn't sound like a lot from where it is, doesn't it? Just to retrace to that all-time high. So the resistance on the median line at the moment, if we see a close above that today, we've literally got 13 hours 40 minutes left for that close. Currently sits at 24368. If we see a close above that, then you really are breaking out here, and you're putting a massive confirmation statement that Bitcoin's bullish regardless of any pullbacks. At that point, any dips are for buying, not for crying, okay? Because you're breaking the trend, and the charts are relaying that to you. So anyway, can't get overly bullish just yet. One thing that would be super bullish here for Bitcoin is obviously breaking back above the medium line of the Gaussian, taking the top out, which would be amazing because, historically, if we can turn this green, that's another amazing signal. And that particular resistance sits at 28,172, which is a technical target. I think Bitcoin is potentially in off this low at the minute, okay? So that's key resistance in time. You will run into resistance, you will come back to support. Potentially, this could be resistance tonight. We could close underneath it, and then this is where we can come back next week, and come back up and close back above it next week. Who knows? But it's all support and resistance. And again, I always relay it to you. If you're breaking resistance, you're bullish. If you're losing support, you're bearish, okay? So right now, going forward, for me, Bitcoin has to remain above the weekly 20 MA to remain bullish from this point, okay? Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.